come on, man. Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. I'm rocking
she's here! Finally! Oh, everybody put your cocks away. Please put your cock away. Please put your cock away. Okay. Can I get the moderator here? I'm about to have this debate right now. Can I get the moderator?
I'm the moderator.
Get the moderator here.
Okay, the moderator is here.
Okay. Blue, I'm
Now
gonna.
we have Professor Plum versus.
I'm gonna.
Ariel.
Hi. Could you turn up your mic or speak up a little? Hello. Hello. Welcome to the first annual Manhood Academy Debates All right. In this corner, we'll have Ariel versus Professor Plum, and I'm bringing up the debate topic right now. Oops, wait. Congratulations and welcome to the Academy.
No fucking way.
Wait, this is the first girl Hey, Ariel, this is the first girl that most of these guys have seen up close. They're getting a lot of, if you see a lot of unpleasant boners, they're not there to sexually assault you. And they can't because they're on a screen, so don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of sexual assault. If you want to show your boobs, that's completely up to you, but don't be afraid of sexual assault.
I don't mind the boobs.
Oh God. Oh God. Okay, there we go. Share screen.
Too funny. This is on your mates.
Okay.
Oh, did you hire an actor or something?
Yeah, she's a hired hand for Manhood Academy. We went to a slut farm and we found her, and now she's here. Oh God.
Hired actor? Come on, that's pretty far fetched.
Okay. Shh. Okay, I'm going to share my screen right now for the debate. Blue, do you want to make a formal introduction to the debate?
Yes. Well, first off,
okay, hold on.
Ariel, where do you hail from? Are you from Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne? Where?
Wait a second. What's happening here?
Do you see the shared screen?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Right. I'm from Brisbane.
Okay.
No, Brisbane. It's Brisbane.
Brisbane.
Okay,
Brisbane.
well, we're Americans. We don't know what the fuck we're talking about.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Also,
Right,
there were rumors that you were a chubby chick. I want to dispel those rumors. Could you stand up for a little bit, for 1 second?
Are you serious? You can't tell?
Look it, she's not that chubby, Z-Dog. Z-Dog said you're a chubby chick, and I said, Z-Dog, she's not a chubby hoe. She's a regular size hoe.
She looked like it in her Facebook photo. The one
No.
that the only one I could see.
She's been working out for this debate. She's been working out for this debate.
It's so much better in
Well,
camera.
props to you. It's only been like 2 hours. So.
Yeah, it's only been...
She did a weight cutting, dude. Huh? She did MMA weight cutting. Yeah, like I could be doing it.
Okay, Boggles, could you fucking stop sexually assaulting the guests? We're having a debate here.
Sorry about
I
that.
apologize for the Indians. We don't... Our typical Manhood Academy policy is not to have Indians, but we can't always control who shows up here. Okay.
That's okay. We have lots of Indians in Australia.
My condolences. Okay. So, Blue, do you want to start off the debate here?
Sure. So, Ariel, we'll start with you.
Yeah, read this ridiculous... Sorry, are you keeping points right now?
Can I read it?
Because
Can I read it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Riddled with ad hominems, you do realize that most of these arguments are far from scientifically sound. From what I can see, the guiding principle here for men is I was rejected and hurt by
I can't
women.
believe I gotta approve... Hold on. I can't believe I gotta approve this stupid slut argument, but I'm gonna do it just so...
Hey, Bob, make sure you record this. Approve it, then put
Just
it on.
shut your mouth!
Podcast this.
Fuck!
This bitch. Podcast this shit. Well, that's a great idea.
Relax! Fuck. Make it sound like the Earth is ending.
Life or death.
Alright, here. She's referring to this original argument, right? By this first bitch, I'm a smart girl, Alyssa, right? Okay. I'll read it, just the key points of this, just so we can brush up and get to her argument. She says, I'd like to thank you guys. Your teachings have determined me... What the fucking Chinese grammar is this? Determined me to try harder to prove people like you wrong. Okay, so instantly, she's basically saying, wagging her finger, I'm going to prove you wrong. I'm a female student in the male-dominated field of game design. 11% women to 89% men in the industry. I've worked hard my entire life to get where I am. I maintain a higher GPA than most of my male counterparts. How does she know this? And work harder than many of them work harder than many of them. What number are you referring to or referencing? To have a higher caliber work. I have the respect of most of my classmates and teachers alike. I am on multiple scholarships based on skills and grades. Or, excuse me, moderator, for laughing. I'm sorry.
I just have to say, I don't know why she's even bothered writing this, because it sounds
You're
like
all scholarships because you have a vagina.
Hold on, I can't hear.
it just sounds to me like she's trying to justify herself to a bunch of guys who really don't care, so I don't know why she's bothered, really.
Right, but we're just reading. We're just going over this for the debate right now. So let's just cover her message so we know what you're referring to. Okay. Okay. So she says, I'm in multiple scholarships based on my skill and grades and not on my tits. I know I deserve to be where I am because I've worked hard to get here, and I'm more than happy to compete with men and women alike for work because I strive to be the best I can be and do not need to be validated as a woman. I am me. I am woman, hear me roar. I'm happy to just do my work well. So I'm sorry that you guys do not believe women can take on these jobs or even deserve to take on these jobs. I know many women who are more qualified for men's jobs. So, excuse me, moderator, for laughing. I'm sorry, I'm going to get through this. I will prove you guys wrong. I'll work at some awesome game studios. I'll become an art director. I'll own my own studio and be a successful game designer and artist, and I'll be able to provide for the family, blah, 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 equally. Okay. I have not gotten this far because of my gender. I have not gone this far on leading men on sexually. I was bullied by guys because they thought it would be fun. It works both ways. I got past that without blaming the male gender. I determined to not let idiots make me upset and work to help people who've been bullied. I am here because I couldn't imagine being in another field of study. I am determined. Thanks, and I wish you guys the best in your endeavors. You are allowing young women and young men to become more determined and ready to take on ignorant, closed-minded beliefs. Sincerely, a determined woman. Okay, you heard her. No, you heard your argument. Now I presented mine. Alyssa, like most stupid women, your listening skills are at about vegetable level, so your delusional fantasies of kicking ass and taking names are completely understandable. However, you failed to pay attention to a key point here. Just because 1 out of 100 women can add in her head, and doesn't mean that the other 99 can't. Women are simply too dumb to work in hard science occupations or anything that requires a lot of brain power. This is why they typically...
Wait a second.
Wait, I'm going to get to your argument, because we're actually going to debate your objections.
Yeah, that's great. I'm just saying, that's kind of weird for you to say, because I'm a science student, and I actually work at a lab.
Oh, perfect. So you'll have first-hand experience. Okay, great. So we'll get to your argument right after this. So we're just seeing my rebuttal to hers, and you're commenting on my rebuttal. This is why women typically choose to major in English and art, and also why they end up as bloggers, veterinarians, and event planners. A man with comparable training will always be able to outperform you. That's why the government has to artificially lower entrance standards for dumb cunts like you. That's why the government forces businesses to hire chicks under the ruse of equality. If you were so special as you claim, you'd be insulted by our feminist government's constant attempt to put training wheels on all your accomplishments. But like most women, you have to have your cake and eat it too. That's why you're not indignant about the feminist government changing women's diapers on a daily basis. That's why you chalk up your success to hard work and perseverance, not entitlement and government privilege. You're dumb enough to believe that nobody helped you out along the way, and that the government doesn't force businesses at legal gunpoint to accept women into positions for which they're obviously unqualified. By the way, there was just a news article talking about trying to get women into boardrooms, like make it 50-50, not basically just saying there's a female quota right now in boardrooms. Your fantasy of doing it all by yourself is the same fantasy society feeds to countless idiot women just like you. We typically refer to these losers as single mothers or felon factories. In other words, the only real demands you're meeting are the Powerpuff Girl demands you've concocted in your tiny brain. But don't worry. You continue to kick ass and prove us wrong. Come back here in a few years and tell us about how you're smarter and stronger than men. We're shaking in our boots. Chicks, handy capable. Okay, now we'll skip down past everything and we'll get right to the debate. Okay, Blue, go ahead. I'm going to read it, so I'll let you read it, so you're the impartial moderator, and I'll abide by your debating rules.
Alright.
Go for it.
Riddled with...
Wait, aren't you going to welcome people to the debate?
Yes, I'd like to formally welcome everyone to the first annual Manhood Academy debate. Woo!
I thought it was called Debate a Hoe. I thought the event was called Debate a Hoe, Blue.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you guys ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Can I clap now?
Clap. Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Riddled with ad hominems. You do realize that most of these arguments are far from scientifically sound. From what I can see, The guiding principle here for men is, I was rejected and hurt by women. I'm sad and lonely.
Aww.
So now to make myself feel better, I beat the bitch, disrespect her, use her, trample her, and tell her she's worthless.
Get
That
the
all
hoe.
she is my bitch. Because the only way bullies feel better about their low self-esteem and issues is by treating others like shit.
Yeah.
It makes them feel powerful and in control.
Yeah.
Any woman in a relationship adhering to the principles in place here has no self-esteem and is
Yes.
in an abusive relationship.
Yes.
Also,
No.
there are no statistics or figures proving such assertions as feminism causing divorce or single moms causing homosexuals. So
Please don't laugh during the reading. Sorry, I'm sorry, Blue.
Please don't laugh.
Please don't laugh.
So incoming response to this would be, ha ha, fucking cunt bitch, that would, you are just woman.
What the fucking Chinese? Were you?
I don't know. Insert retarded laugh here, insert fallacy.
Wait, are we laughing at the grammar or the comment? Because I'm trying to.
I don't know what we're laughing at.
Okay, keep going. Sorry.
Go wash some dishes, blah, blah, blah. Insert ad hominem here. End of response.
Okay, I'm ready to debate. I will listen to opening arguments by my opponent.
Okay.
Or Blue, I'm sorry, you're supposed to say that. I apologize.
Alright, first I would like to... What should I start off with?
How about opening arguments from the opponent?
Yes,
Wait,
Ariel.
1 second. How do I get it so I can see everyone on the sidebar? So I can see
Well,
Blue?
here's what I'm going to do, so people can just reference it. I'm going to click, and you can. I'm going to put it in the Academy chat room down here. Boom. And I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. So you guys are all gonna have to go directly to that. So you can click on your chat room screen, and you'll be at that the bottom post. So that we're only talking about the bottom post there.
Hey, Plum, I want to say another chick is witnessing this.
Oh, hello, chick. Who's that?
That's my the Singapore girl.
Oh, tell that slut to get in here. Oh, I mean girlfriend. I'm sorry, I meant beautiful woman. Tell this beautiful woman to come in.
No, I'm not getting into the group. I don't want to get into the
Oh, come on, girlfriend. Come on.
She'll just listen, man.
Your girlfriend gives me a boner, by the way. I just want to say that. It's not part of the bait. I just want to put that in the record.
She's very shy.
Yeah, she ran away from the camera when I said that. Don't worry, I'm not going to sexually assault her. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, he's not gonna sexually assault you.
Okay, go ahead.
Alright. Opening arguments, you may commence.
Oh, by the way, Ariel, if you want to see other people, you can click. You can do two things. You can
yeah. I just noticed that.
click the arrow, or there's also on the left-hand side, it says active speakers. Whoever's the active speaker will pop up on your screen.
Right here. Hang on a second. So where is the discussion debate?
Okay, so in the
chat link.
in the chat room, back on your browser, I put the link in the chat room. It's the one in the visitor center. So if you click in the chat room, you see the one I just posted.
Yeah.
That's the one. So we're all on the bottom, and we're on your post right now.
Okay. Alright. Hang on a second. Just waiting.
Why is Napoleon's disgusting face on my screen right now? He didn't make a noise, and he's on my screen. Please speak so his face changes off my screen, Ariel.
Sorry?
Say something so his face disappears from my screen.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure this out because I'm new to this. So, the screen that we had with my actual arguments and that whole forum, I've only got the screen with all of us on.
Right, but if you want to reference...
Keep in mind, I haven't slept in 24 hours, so I'm really, really tired.
Right, keep in mind I have all my brain cells tied behind my back right now, so it's even right now.
Really?
Actually, I think Plum was up for... How long? You were up till like...
Wait. Really? You just said that?
Yes, really, I just said that. I'm up, and I also combat sarcasm. I am been up for 48 hours straight. I'm on heroin right now. I'm fully out of my mind, so this should be easy debate for you. I want that to be entered in the record.
Wait. You're on heroin.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I tried to introduce a humorous quip into the debate record, just to get the audience on my side. I know that was a low manipulative tactic. Really, I'm not on heroin.
Strike that from the record.
Please have that stricken from the record.
Okay,
I'm just gonna go find the forum. Hang on.
yes, it's on the chat, and if you click on the link, it'll take you directly to your response.
Yeah, you know what you could do? You could cut and paste it and put it in a little text window so you can put it right by there.
Yeah, it wasn't loading before.
Or I can even paste it in here. I don't know if it'll all paste at once. Let me see. Did it all paste?
Okay, yep.
Oh, it all pasted in the chat window, so you didn't have to look at the forum now. You can just click on the chat screen. I put it in the chat screen, so nobody type in the chat window, please.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm just looking at the forum
Okay.
anyway. In a second. So, I think the first thing that I really wanted to talk about was that, there aren't actual statistics that say, there aren't actual statistics that say that feminism is causing the majority of divorces. I think I read something that you said 50%. 50% divorce rate?
Right, roughly,
being
yes.
caused by feminism?
Right. Oh, not directly caused by feminism. They're just going to say, like, there's a 50% divorce rate in this country. But we know that those countries are highly feminized. Like, for instance, Norway, Sweden, Finland, America, places like that where there's a high incidence of feminism or feminism governance. There is this corresponding high divorce rate.
Right. So, how do we know it's corresponding?
Well, we don't directly know, but if we look at the evidence, we can determine that this is caused by feminism.
What evidence?
Well, all the evidence in our ebook, but let me see if I can break it down in a simple format. Okay. Feminism essentially tries to give women power over men. So,
Does it?
what's that?
Does it?
Yes, it does. Exactly. That's exactly what it does. One of the easiest instances where this is displayed in the mythical wage gap that feminists always reference, that men are only paid 70 cents per dollar for every dollar that a man makes. But you see all these discrepancies in that formula that feminists don't point out. For instance, the fact that number was derived by averaging out all women and all men. So not taking into account full-time work, part-time work, the different professions, etc. So then they came out, obviously, women are going to be paid less than men because they don't work the same hours. If you don't work as many hours, you shouldn't get the same pay. That's not pointed out by feminists. If you don't work in the same professions, right? If you're a humanities major or an art major, you're obviously not going to get the same pay as a surgeon or somebody in a hard science, an engineer. And most... I'm sorry?
You see, my main issue is that there seems to be a generalization happening here because, just like when someone calls themselves a humanist or a feminist or an atheist or anything like that, there are categories, like subcategories in each faction. Not all feminists believe the crap that radical feminists talk about.
Right, and you always hear that argument coming from women and feminists, regardless of their affiliation or what they officially label themselves. I don't even care about that. What I care about is their actions, their behavior. And their behavior, if it doesn't stand against these injustices, if it doesn't address these inequalities, then they are advocating it. They are promoting it. Just like if a feminist would say, if I allowed a rape to happen right next to me, I'm advocating that rape. Or if I'm standing by and not standing up for slut walk, where women dress like sluts or however they want to dress, and then they feel that men should still respect them as women. This type of attitude from feminists, I'm just basically giving it back to them. I'm saying, okay, fine. If you want to play the equality game, we have to play it across the board. We have to be equal across the board with whatever type of reasoning you want to use, whether you want to use regular reason or you want to use feminist reason, which is just basically chick logic. So you have to apply things evenly across the board, not just conveniently when it suits your agenda or when it's convenient for you or when you benefit from something. So these generals... What's that?
So you're basically referring to the women, like for example, that I saw in the video on YouTube, which are the sort that want to be independent and want to be equal, yet they expect men to do everything for them.
Exactly. For instance, when you say this, and I've heard this all the time, that, not all women are like this or not all feminists believe that, but yet in practice, you see, we point out all types of injustices and unethical dealings in the media, in society, by feminists, by women's groups. We have dozens of we have countless articles in our visitor section discussing this, and we talk about it in our ebook, in our videos, and yet you always hear nothing from these women. Nothing from these women. In fact, you have to initiate the conversation for them to even say, oh, that's not fair. Oh, that's not fair for men. And they'll pay it lip service. But you see in the way they comment on videos or news stories, rape culture ads, rape culture PSAs, the comments they leave in blogs, you get a general attitude or consensus for how women deal with these things and what their real attitudes are by how they respond, not what they tell you when they're, their back is against the wall, they're looking for a politically correct answer. One of the classic female ruses is when you're talking about dating, right? And who should pay? Well, in a feminist mind, they should pay equally, right? A man should pay for his half, a woman should pay for his half. That would be a feminist viewpoint. And if you ask women, not all of them, surprisingly, but some of them would say, yeah, that's a fair viewpoint. But in actual dating practice, that all goes out the window. It's fine to say that in, when you're called for a public opinion, but in your actual practice, if you're going to be a hypocrite and let the guy pay because, the argument is that, the guy insists I pay, so who am I to begrudge him paying, or whoever asked should pay. When they pull out these bullshit arguments, that just proves that they are being hypocritical when they're saying they support men equally, or they support men's equality, or men's issues just as much. I mean, the name feminism itself is bullshit. It's based on a female. So how can they say or make the claim that if we just address women's issues, men's issues will somehow be solved?
Yeah. Sorry, can you just wait 1 second? 1 second.
I'll be right here.
Yeah, what is it? No, I haven't. I'll do that soon.
Yeah, tell your mom you're busy.
It's my partner, 1 second.
Domestic partner.
Yes, I'll pay the bill in a second.
Tell him it's domestic violence that he's abusing you.
That's just silly. It's 3 p.m. I'll get it done before 5.
If you threaten arrest, he'll have to stop. It'll be abuse. We're all witnesses here to his abuse.
Really?
I'll support you in court, really. Do a double really. If you're going to do a really, do a double really. Don't stop at one really. Do a really, and then really?
I'm not American.
Oh, they only do one in Australia? Okay. I wasn't aware of the Australian culture.
Okay, so just addressing your points. Firstly, feminism, the word feminism, feminists were around, more than a century ago. It was focused on women back then because women really didn't have any rights at all. So that's why it is feminism.
Right, but you know why they didn't have rights? Because they didn't have responsibilities. Like, women weren't allowed in the workforce in large numbers, but also men had to pay for everything. So with a right, men had a responsibility. This is what women don't grasp. You notice how women never report the fact that men die in wars in large numbers, or that men die in the workforce. What is the last number I heard? It was 95% of work-related deaths are male. They never make mention of that. That is a huge responsibility, a glaringly absent responsibility that men bear and women don't mention when they mention that we're oppressed.
Yeah, the reason why men go to war and why we have lots of men dying in war is because every single country is patriarchal. And men are territorial.
Wait.
So,
can I jump in here?
Moderator, is he allowed to?
I'm gonna have to say no, you cannot jump in. Okay.
I'm just saying that, men have been at war with each other for thousands and thousands of years. I think it's a bad thing that lots of men die for their country and stuff, but...
And you're saying that women are not going to start wars, and women are peaceful.
We don't know.
We don't know?
Never been...
So is that why when...
Let me finish, please.
But you interrupted me, so I'm going to interrupt you. Moderator, is it okay since she interrupted me? Wouldn't it be fair for me to interrupt her at her points when she's making various points?
That sounds egalitarian to me.
Does that sound egalitarian to you? If you can interrupt my points, I can interrupt your points and answer them in kind?
But I hadn't finished my point.
Right, I hadn't finished my point either, but you jumped in and interrupted me. I think as a feminist, you would be outraged by the inequality of only allowing yourself to interrupt my points and not me to interrupt your points. What do you think about that?
We can even ask this girl here if she agrees. I think she agrees.
Oh, let's ask the impartial girl. Ask your people. Ask your...
I know, what do you think? Like, he's right? If he interrupts him, he can interrupt her, right? I know?
Can I get a ruling on that?
I've had hardly a chance to say much, so you've said a lot more than what I've
Moderator, could you please respond to her allegation that I've been the only one that's had a chance to state my views?
No,
I'm going to the moderator. I'm not going to you. I'm asking the moderator.
Well, he's still developing a point, and you're going to have plenty of time to make a rebuttal.
Thank you, moderator. I'm going to make my point right now. So you're implying that women are peaceful, and we don't know what would happen if women were in charge. Yet, when the business world is surveyed, men...
Hold on. Hold on one moment.
We got some
Somebody mute your mic.
Everybody mute your mic except the debating participants right now. We got some echo. Sorry, moderator. Apologize for the
You may
unprofessional,
continue.
unprofessional miking of this event. So, in the business world, men and conspicuously women prefer male bosses over female bosses because they say female bosses are bitchy and temperamental. And I posit that if you put a bitch in charge of a country, a bitchy and temperamental person that most of the women don't even want to work for, that is going to be an aggravating part of any country's governance that would definitely cause strife when you're negotiating or dealing with another country or an enemy or an adversarial relationship. Also,
hearsay there.
I'm sorry?
That's just hearsay.
That's hearsay of an article I read in Business Week. Is that what you're telling me? That's all hearsay?
No. I need to say something. I don't know if you've ever heard of Terry Fitzsimmons, but he actually travels around the world. He's my uncle. And he wrote a thesis on CEO women. Just look him up on Google. And he wrote
I don't know if you know this, but we wrote a book. It's called The Principles That Govern Social Interaction, and we actually talk about this. It's the first part of the section. I don't know if you met Professor Plum. Are you familiar with Professor Plum? He also is a distinguished scholar writing on this subject.
I know, but is it actually an actual thesis approved by a top university in the world? And it's going
Right,
out
but this is the topmost university in the world. This is an international university that appeals to all men. It's the topmost university. There's none like it in the universe.
Yeah.
Is there a-
Being a bully, you're not being a debater, you're being a bully.
Wait, she's a bully? I agree with Anna, what she said, that the woman is definitely bullying me. I'm almost tempted to file a restraining order against you in this debate, but I'm going to hold back on that. I agree with your female friend, Boggles. She is being a bully.
As the moderator, are we to read this whole article?
No. We can. Here's part of the debating rules, because since we can't reference articles, they should be disallowed in this debate. We should have to rely on reason alone to make our points.
Yeah,
Otherwise, we could just make up
It's
statistics.
because it won't make sense to read an entire article. That would take hours to do.
And by the way, we couldn't reference each other's statistics or verify each other's statistics. So I suggest that we shouldn't be allowed to even introduce, third-party articles or just even cite statistics. I believe we should make our case based on reason alone. Moderator.
Yes.
Because I don't know if her uncle is a man, Jana. She said her uncle wrote the research.
I don't even know who her uncle is.
And it doesn't matter. It's it's an authority fallacy, anyways.
But by saying that the document you were saying came from a business, some business school or something, is also an authority.
Right. So we'll disallow it. I'll remove it from the record. I
It will be
respectfully.
stricken from the record.
Yes, I respectfully request that be stricken from the record. Are you satisfied, Ariel? I've stricken that document from the record.
Yeah, that's fine. I just need to address a few things. A lot of these are assumptions because, there is no record in history of women being equally in power, like equally, 50-50 with men, in governance of a country.
That's not true.
Mankind, which means
You'll have your turn.
that there is no evidence to state that women wouldn't be able to rule a country.
Okay, so Plum, what do you have to say about there's been no evidence in history of women having a chance in government or being in power?
50-50. Not a chance. 50-50.
That there's no recorded record of any women ruling any society in history? Is that what you're claiming?
May I?
May I?
Let me finish. My words are being taken out of proportion. It's really
Please make your statement accurately for the record.
I am. Women, 50-50 with men, have never ruled a country. There have only been some women with proportion, majority being men. So, for example, 2% women and then 98%.
Now let me.
50-50.
Okay, great. Okay, so you're saying that you're basically saying that women haven't been allowed to rule alongside men in the same numbers. It's not 50-50 strictly, right? Strictly speaking.
Yes.
Okay.
Which means that there's no evidence to say that women can't rule a country.
Right. Now let me answer your absurdity with some common sense. Okay.
That's
You
a
have.
fallacy, by the way.
I'm sorry.
I have a question.
I'm sorry? What the fuck is this idiot saying? Can you fucking shut the Indian off?
From the debate.
God damn it. I apologize for the Indian interrupting us. Please, moderator, could you please motion to the Indian to move his mic, or we'll have security remove him from the academy? Moderator, could I get a formal warning to the Indian?
Yeah, he has muted his mic. You may continue.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Wait, I want to see his face so I can gloat a little bit. Hold on. Excuse the interruption. I want to stare at the Indian and gloat at him a little bit. Okay. Pardon me, ma'am. Back on track. Could you please remind the debaters where we were at? Moderator, I got distracted by the Indian. As you know, there's a long history of Indians interrupting points I've been trying to make, both in class and during debates, and it often throws me into a frazzled state, unlike a woman menstruating. So please remind me.
So the argument was that there hasn't been equal numbers.
Right. Okay.
We don't know how women would rule.
Right. Okay. So I want to answer that with a different example. I want to talk about the inventions in history, throughout history. Now, there's not a strict 50-50 line. For instance, there's not 50% of women inventing cars, planes, and automobiles, and men, the other 50% of men, the other 50% of the population of men inventing computers, syringes, cell phones, etc. This is because inventions and the inventors themselves are determined by their mental prowess, their function. Now, we all know from history, common sense, and direct experience that men are much more intelligent than women, and that's why history reflects this in the number of inventions it created by men, and the significant inventions created by men. So, we see that it's not a matter of it's not a strict equality issue when you're talking about function. What we're talking about is what is functional, what is practical for society, what actually works. It would be no different than saying, 50% of men should be able to give birth. These types of ridiculous perspectives undermine the very nature of function, which is based simply upon what works, what is practical. It's practical for women to bear all the children because they have the womb to do it. Just like it's practical for men to make the vast majority of inventions that are the foundation of society because they have the mental prowess to do it. They have the capacity to do it. This is why men are always shackled with the responsibility for women, for protecting women, for constructing societies, for constructing skyscrapers and homes that women didn't build so that you could benefit from it because men have the capacity to do that. That's why they bear the responsibility for doing that. It has nothing to do with some imagined gender slight where men hate you, therefore they're going to invent inventions just to spite you, or they're going to invent the computer just to spite you, they're going to invent the cell phone just to spite you, they're going to build a building just to spite you. That's not how it works. Men do these things because they have the capacity, the function to do them, therefore they have the responsibility to do these things. It is not a gender discrimination issue. Just like men are able to lead, they're smarter and stronger than women, therefore they should lead. Just like we wouldn't say, 50% of children should be ruling this part of the house and 50% of the adults should be ruling the other side of the house. That would be ludicrous. It doesn't matter if there's 1,000 children or 1 billion children and only 2 adults or 100 adults. The adults should always be ruling. It is not a matter of ageism, sexism, gender discrimination, racism. It's a matter of function. The adults have the mental capacity. The adults have the physical capability to rule. That's why children should not rule. It doesn't have to do with numbers. Exact numbers don't talk about the capacity and the function of each person. Or I should say each gender.
That's your argument.
Yes, you may continue.
Right.
But wait, I want to end my argument with booyah. Okay, go ahead. Sorry. I want to have booyah entered into the record officially, please. Is that possible?
Taken from the record.
No, I would like to enter that into the record. Is that possible, to have booyah entered into the record officially?
It's noted.
Okay. Do you have an Ariel, do you have an objection to booyah being entered into the record?
No, I really don't.
Okay, I would like that officially entered as my closing of my argument. Boo, B-O-O, capital Y-A. Go ahead.
Okay, the reason why the majority of inventions are by men is because women weren't educated. Women haven't had an education up until now. And in the last century, women have had the access to education to be able to open their minds and broaden their minds and have the ability to actually invent things now. Because if you have someone who is uneducated, how are they going to be able to apply any knowledge to their life?
Right.
They're not going to be able to make an invention if they aren't educated. The majority of inventors were educated men. Women were never educated.
Right.
Okay,
so they never had the ability to. Once women started to become educated, lo and behold, inventions by women became apparent, didn't they?
Right.
So when women have access to equal education and equal opportunities, they can present with the same things that men do.
Right.
Okay.
And the thing is that we haven't reached a point where women are equal in all industries. So we still have, for example, in science, there's like, I think in Australia it's like 78% are men. And we have a very large industry that is dominated by men, so still there's still a small proportion of women. So therefore they don't have the ability to, they don't have the numbers to be as, what's the word?
Silly?
To be, no, that's not common. To be impressive, like to show that they are as capable as men are in the field.
Okay.
It's difficult because we have thousands and thousands of years in a male-dominated society where women haven't had an education. So we haven't had the ability to do anything.
Right.
We haven't had the resources that men have had.
Right.
But now that we do have the resources that men have, we're able to discuss. For example, a century ago, I would not be able to sit here with a bunch of men and have this discussion. I wouldn't be able to do that. A century ago, I would be, stuck in my home with no education, would be completely dumb and stupid. But now I'm studying a Bachelor of Science. Women would have only dreamt of that 100 years ago.
Right.
It's not so much about whether men think women are capable of doing something or not. Sure, you guys have you think that women are stupid and that we don't have the same intelligence as men. But that's based on your observations of society and history. And the observations of society and history are those of a society where women had no education.
Right.
I mean, women of today are still pretty stupid. I will have to admit, there are a lot of girls, and our society is responsible for that. Our society is responsible for making both men and women stupid, not just women. For example, I don't have female friends. All my friends are men. I don't have female friends because I never got along with girls in school, because a lot of the girls in my school were stupid.
May I sum up your argument?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so just so everybody knows, Ariel's argument is that women were not able to achieve what men have achieved because of hundreds of years of not being educated. They weren't allowed to be educated. They were oppressed by the patriarchy. And so now that they do have the chance to equal access, this is a time for women to prove themselves.
Right.
So women weren't able to have all the inventions because they just didn't have the education. They weren't allowed to be educated.
Okay, I'd like to sum up my opening argument with a quote from one of the great philosophical movies of all time, Top Gun. Bullshit! Okay. I would like to talk about this common feminist fallacy of women not being educated. Women were being held back. And this ridiculously silly claim that all inventors were formally or highly educated. Some of the most brilliant inventors of all time who invented major inventions. We're not just talking about you invented a thimble cap for your finger so you don't get poked with a needle. We're talking about computers, we're talking about cars, we're talking about significant inventions that influenced mankind, that influenced history, societies. These were made by simple, uneducated men. Even slaves who had a lower position than women, who didn't have any rights, who were considered 3/5 of a person, made more significant inventions than the fucking ABC block, than the rolling pin, than goddamn whiteout. Excuse me, moderator, she's interrupting me while I'm making my point. Can I finish my point? Moderator, can I get some order in court, please? Moderator, can you silence this bitch so I can get order in the court?
So she's alright. She's saying that there's no evidence to say that uneducated men made major advances.
As opposed to all the evidence she dragged out. Blue, can I get some order for this bitch? Can we silence this bitch so I can respond? I mean, I was silent throughout her speech. I was silent throughout her whole speech, moderator. I wish you would step in. I wish you would step in and moderate properly.
You may continue, Ariel. You'll get a chance for your rebuttal.
He's trying to say, bitch, be quiet while I'm speaking. Yeah, I don't know why you're wasting your time either, because you don't have the brain capacity to handle debate. That's why we invited you here, and you rejected the offer the first time. Let it be noted that she was a cowardly hoe, and she rejected the offer to debate. And it was only after...
I have evidence that that's not true.
No, we have chat room evidence recording that this is definitely true. We even have you claiming that you didn't have an argument when everybody saw for the record your argument posted right here. The one where it started riddled with ad hominems. You lied and deceitfully tried to pull one over on the entire student body here by claiming that you were innocent and you had no argument when this entire paragraph is full of bitter female vitriol, accusing us of not being able to get sex or being rejected in relationships and being angry. Boo! I'll have you know, I want to put my penis right now into evidence and the DNA juices off of it that this bitch can lick, and she'd see that I fuck many a bitch like her. How about that, ho? What do you have to say about that, ho? Alright, by the way, I'd like to finish my point, if I may.
You may continue, please.
But while I do that, I got so excited I have to pee. I want to get a glass of water. Could I call an intermission, or could I have DBP in my stead continue this argument, because he, I think, is a noted authority on this invention argument and can answer more appropriately than I can. Is that agreeable to you, Miss Ariel? If he jumps in and answers this portion of the argument for me, and then I will continue answering your rebuttal.
Fine.
Thank you.
Yeah.
DBP?
Alright, well, I have a question for Ariel.
Oh, okay.
Okay, without you drinking. So, if men and women are equal, why couldn't women uplift themselves without the help of men or government assistance?
Because they were being overruled by men. So how can you uplift? If someone was dominating you,
Right, she's saying there's like legal rules and restrictions. Okay, let's not get into that just yet. Let's answer this the part of the argument you presented, and then we'll get to your rebuttal. How about that, moderator?
You said women didn't have access to education. Well, women actually take up more spots in college now in Western society, and they're still not contributing at the top level like men are. And even if that was the case, and the thing
But
is,
some chick made ABC blocks. Did you mention that? I just wanted to enter that in the record. Some chick has made ABC blocks. I can see that point.
How about in fields that are dominated by women? Women dominate makeup, bra, high heels, all these fields of industry and fashion. But the best designers are men. Armani, Dolce & Gabbana.
there's social
So I mean,
construct.
what's the excuse then? You're trying to make the argument that men dominated women. Women are the dominant conglomerate in these fields. So if you're arguing that women aren't performing because they were being dominated, what's their excuse for a lack of performance when they're the dominant conglomerate?
Okay, the men who are dominant in that field are mostly gay, and they're feminine men. They're not actual.
What does that have to do with? Okay.
Means that they're feminine. They're not homosexual men who are straight, who have straight men ideals. They're feminine. They're
Right,
feminine men.
It might be effeminate, yes, we agree.
Okay.
Wait,
Hold on.
The majority of men who are great in fashion, but that's not to say that all people who are good in fashion are all men. Like
I'm not saying that all of them are. I'm saying that the top echelon.
ones. There are top. I don't follow fashion, but there are women in fashion who are at the top as well. So I don't understand what you're getting at exactly.
I'm saying the best of the best are men. The most successful are men. The guys whose brands are the most popular are men. That's what I'm saying. And I'm saying that and you're arguing that these men are feminine, but if femininity is the main reason that they're successful, wouldn't the women be more successful?
What's to say that there aren't as many successful women in fashion as there are
It's
men?
not a question of are there as many successful women. It's a question of who is
At
the
the
top. Who
Well,
is
give
the
me a
top?
comparison at the top. Get all of the top distributors of fashion, the top people, and tell me how many are men and how
That's
many
my
women.
point.
Could I just enter for the record that this stank bitch ass is getting handed to her? She's getting served. I just want to say that, moderator, for the record.
This debate is, if this was a university, that wouldn't be allowed. I'm just saying.
If this was a university debate at Manhood Academy, you would be dick slapped for seriously lying to the committee here.
There's so many fallacies here, and it's so
Right, the main fallacy started when you came into the chat room and pretended. You came into the chat room and lied. I have the chat room record. You lied and said you didn't have any debate or any argument. You are a dirty slut and a dirty cunt, and you lied. You're a lying dirty slut and a lying dirty cunt because you came into the chat room. You came into the chat room and you said, "Oh, I don't have an argument. I don't know what you're talking about." When you knew damn well you wrote this. I have the chat room record, you lying cunt. I have the chat room record. You dirty skank. I have the chat room record of you lying. You want me to show you? Okay, I'll show you the chat room record. Wait, by the way, what do I win? What do I win if I show you this record and you're wrong? and I can prove to you that you lied, what do I get?
I don't know.
Will you admit that you're a dirty skank hoe and you lied and that your arguments are invalid if I show you the chat room record of you lying?
Why would I?
Because you're a dirty skank hoe. It would be we would prove that you're a dirty skank hoe liar, and it would be entered in the formal record at the academy. Do you submit to these conditions? If I check the record, if I expend my effort,
It's highly immature.
if I expend my effort to unmask you as a dirty skank hoe liar that you are, will you? I'm sorry, what?
She's pulling the immature card.
What is a skank hoe?
Exactly what you are. I will describe it after you admit to it. I will describe it after you admit to it.
Why would I admit to something that I don't understand?
Because you don't understand anything. You don't even understand what you're saying. So it's no stretch to imagine that you wouldn't understand common English. So I'm saying you're a dirty skank hoe, and I want you to admit to it once I prove that you're a deceitful liar, and by showing evidence in the chat room.
She has a PhD. Careful.
PhD. She's got a PhD in deceit. In deceitfulness.
That's right.
I'm ready to show the record right now.
Anyone here actually have, an education, like a higher...
Is anybody here not menstruating and is able to make sense? Oh, that's everybody but you.
Okay, one thing I have to say about menstruating, women's female hormones are actually at the lowest when they're menstruating. Their highest female hormones are when they're not menstruating.
Okay, one thing I have to say is that most feminists are ugly. They're not dirty skank hoes. Most feminists are fat, ugly bitches. Now, I've seen you with a haircut, with short hair, and you are definitely ugly with short hair. Now, with long hair, the ugliness goes down. It's like you're about a 6 or so. But body size I haven't seen yet. Now, this is indicative of the feminist attitude. This is indicative of the feminist attitude, which, when they get rejected by men, they often resort to these types of artificial intervention by governments, feminist policies, feminist legislation, to make up for their lack of relationships, for their bitterness, for their inability to control men by their vagina or by their looks. That's why, typically, feminists look like Andrew Dorkin, like Jabba the Hutt stunt doubles. I want to have it entered into the record, officially. Moderator?
And that's why the majority of misogynists look like fat, ugly dicks.
Would you like to see my fat, ugly dick, for the record? So that I can disprove that too? You can?
Yeah, it's
Where?
right there.
Where?
It's your face.
So, are you giving me an ad M&M? Moderator, that was an ad M&M. She is eating M&Ms. I want to posit that she is eating M&Ms during this debate and getting fatter. Can I have that entered in the record? That was an attack on my character, moderator.
It is officially in the record book.
Thank you. That was...
Ad Eminem.
This stank hoe just called me an ad M&M. That is bullshit. I would like to declare bullshit on that attack, on my person, my character. My family, my children will see this debate. My children have to look at this debate and hear you call me that despicable, horrible name that you just called me. I won't even mention it.
How dare I?
So I have a question for Ariel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Women have been oppressed, right? Oppressed. If we are equal, why
What the
do women
fuck is
need to
that?
be
Hold
coddled?
on, moderator. It sounds like there's a fucking circus on in the debate. Sorry for the interruption, whoever's interrupting us. Go ahead.
Don't worry, it's gone.
So if men and women are equal, why do women need to be coddled and uplifted by essentially men to get into the positions where they're on now? Like the point Plum just made, a lot of...
Hold on a second. Could the asshole with his mic on close his mic while the moderator's talking, please? Thank you. Sorry, moderator. Go ahead. Continue.
But why is it that women need to be uplifted and men don't? And like Plum said, a lot of uneducated men made major advancements in human, technology, civilization. Don't see that in women. So if we're equal, why do women need to be coddled and taken care of?
Alright, firstly, I did want to address that. The reason why men who were less educated were able to do that was because they were in an open society, a male society, that allowed them to have the ability to rise up in society by doing...
Wait, when you say a male society, what does that mean could you explain when you say a male society?
It means that all men are in authority, all men have power, all men are...
Right, okay, so would you say that... So would you say that men... Let me ask you a question. Would you say that men have the ability to enslave women? Let's say there was 10 women in a room and 10 men in a room. Would I have the ability to enslave you? Yes or no?
Yes, because of physicality.
Right, okay. So, just by very virtue of the fact that we can overpower you, doesn't, as in all historical context, and as in all historical tales, doesn't might make right? Doesn't that mean that, essentially, I could dominate you, rape you, enslave you, and do whatever I want because I can do that. But the very fact that we haven't do that, that speaks volumes about our character as men.
Did you just say haven't?
We haven't. Yes, exactly. Look at if all us men, as you claim, look at hold on. If the patriarchy, let me explain my point. If the patriarchy, as you claim, is some collective male consciousness, like we're all working together, we're all colluding together, we're all trying to we're all trying to fuck men over at once, which is it has to be systematic in order for this feminist delusion to work. That means that every man here, we could all just agree, hey, let's rape all these bitches, let's take them over, let's just fucking enslave them. And we just do it. We would have the ability to do it, and there wasn't a fucking thing you could do about it. Right. And there isn't a thing you could do about it. So what argument do you have to persuade us that we shouldn't do that?
The thing is that as human beings, we're meant to be evolving, not devolving.
Right, but let's say we don't even care about your arguments. I know, but let's answer my hypothetical first, and I'll let you finish. I'll let you finish after you answer my hypothetical. What makes you... What convincing argument do you have for us to not do that? If we just want to take you over, these 10 men want to take over these 10 men want to take over these 10 women, they want to rape them and enslave them, what argument do you have, can you present to those 10 men that would say you shouldn't do this?
You can't present an argument not to do something to someone who's being barbaric.
Right, okay, so if we're barbarians and we're raping and enslaving you, right. Right, okay, so if we're rabid dogs and raping and enslaving you, what possible rationale can you give us to not do it?
You can't.
Right, so why should we even listen to you? Why shouldn't we just overpower you and take you over and make you do whatever the fuck we want? Because we can.
Because we're evolving as a society.
So what? We don't care. We're rabid dogs, as you said. Why should we listen to you? You just said we're rabid dogs, so why should we even bother? We can do it, right?
I didn't say, I said in that situation, if you had a bunch of men who are aggressive and wanting to do that, and you couldn't tell them otherwise, then of course they would be like rabid animals. You wouldn't be able to tell them otherwise.
Right, so what reason do they have to even listen to you, to even entertain your arguments?
In today's society, not...
Of emasculated manginas, yes.
No, in today's society where people actually use their brains...
No, they've used their brains before that, but in today's society, we have criminals and manginas or white knights or emasculated males who are raised by dumb bitches like you who act like women and think like women because they think emotionally. They can't make specific arguments. They can't relate to reason. They can't relate to facts. They relate to how they feel because they're raised by single mommies just like you, unstable, emotional bitches who can't form a coherent argument.
Would you say Karl Marx is an intelligent man?
Who?
Karl Marx?
No.
Okay, would you say Richard Dawkins?
No. Definitely not. No.
Okay, Darwin?
No.
Right, okay, so you're telling me that the greatest minds of science are all morons. Is that what you're saying?
No, you're supposing that they're the greatest minds of science. But there are rational men everywhere. You're using the common feminist authority fallacy that just because somebody's wearing a white lab coat, they're some elite tower of knowledge that cannot be touched.
Do you know who Darwin is?
Yes, you moron. I know who Darwin is.
Who is Darwin?
Who is Darwin? Ever heard of the theory of evolution, the origin of species? You moron.
The origin of the species, that's right.
Yes, you moron. We know that already.
You're telling me that you don't
I answered your question, you moron. What is the point?
He's not a great man?
No, he's not a great man.
Right.
Right.
Darwin agrees with women being equal to men.
Yeah, that's why he's not a great man. Or you're, like a feminist, deceitfully twisting his argument and twisting his words. Because I don't have any direct quotes from you. And we're not even entering references into the record. We're using reason here. So you're too dumb to even follow the rules of the debate.
No, this isn't
But if we were supposing that you were correct, he would be wrong then. Because intelligence is not decided by past accomplishments or past intelligence or past intelligent thoughts. For instance, if I was a great guy who invented calculus, if I was a great man, quote, quote, great man who invented calculus or any other math discipline, and then suddenly I said, cats are the most intelligent beings on the earth and we should worship cats, it wouldn't matter how many intelligent things I've done, said, did, or created in the past. What would matter if I was presently functional or not, whether my thinking was presently functional or not. For me to worship cats would be insanity. So to just say that, oh, Darwin's a great man and nothing he said is wrong, that's sheer fucking retardation.
I didn't say nothing you said is wrong.
What's that?
I didn't say nothing he said was wrong. You just said...
You're implying he's a great man. That his greatness is just based upon what he said.
I didn't say everything he says is right. I just said that he said that.
So what is your criteria for great then? What is your criteria for great then? A published man?
That intelligent men, more intelligent than you, agree and have agreed that women should be equal with men. And not only that, but Karl Marx...
Right, but I'm more intelligent than those men, and I agree that women should not be equal to men because they demonstrated that they're not equal to men. You're confusing equality of worth as persons, which I agree women are equal as persons, but not equal in function, which you're too fucking dumb to know the difference between.
What is function?
Function?
It's
I thought you were an intelligent person.
No.
I thought you were intelligent enough to critique me, and now suddenly you don't know what function is?
Definition. What is the
No.
definition?
You got on your high horse when I didn't know who Darwin was, supposedly. So now, you dumb bitch, you tell me what function is, since you're so bright. Tell me. Enlighten us, since you're so smart. Oh, it's an ad hominem. So, when you do it, when you argue, it's not an ad hominem, but when I argue, because of my gender and your discriminating attitude, suddenly it is ad M&Ms. How many fucking bags of M&Ms are you going to eat during this debate, you fat bitch?
And she said more intelligent men than you.
Than you. That's an ad hominem right there. And plus you mentioned I was a dickhead and you're pointing at me. That's an ad hominem. You've been eating bags of M&Ms this whole debate. Yeah, but those are true. You are a dirty lying hoe, and you are a skanky, diseased slut. I'm entering that into the record. So entered. Objections? Do we have any objections? Rybread, the resident mangina, do you object? Actually, Ariel, I'm going to let a resident mangina who agrees with you speak on your behalf. Rybread, we're going to give you the floor. Go ahead. Your thoughts, please.
Yeah, I think everybody should stop with the ad M&Ms and just get on with the real debate. Thanks.
Blue, I submit that I fell asleep during Rybread's speech, and I don't want to hear from Rybread again. Could that be entered into the record?
I just want to add that I think it's ironic that all these brilliant guys are men. If you notice.
If you notice, she didn't reference any brilliant women. Or any inventors of ABC blocks. Can we hear from...
That's because I'm adhering to you. That's because I'm...
Oh, you're adhering, especially when you're referring to Darwin and Origin of Species and his arguments, which were not specifically entered from any reasonable standpoint. They were submitted as like an understood axiom when they were just your words. Is hearsay a twisting of his argument?
Just like everything that you say is hearsay and twisting of arguments. What's the difference? I mean...
Right, so if we're allowed to twist the arguments, I can invent as many arguments as you, can't I? That would just negate all your bullshit, wouldn't it?
If you're going to argue like this, then I can argue the same way. You know, I would be happy to have a mature debate where there isn't any name calling.
Right, but you're too dumb to know the difference when you're being insulting, because like women, you use passive-aggressive sarcasm to do your insulting, and you have an insulting attitude. You make your that's not the point. That's not the point. I'm talking about hey, you dumb bitch. Dirty skank-ho, quiet your mouth. I'm talking about your insults that are veiled ad hominems when you insinuate things, when you sarcastically imply things, when... That's not my point. No, I directly call you a dirty... No, I don't. I directly call you a dirty skank-ho. That's the difference. I am open about my insults. You are not. You are a deceitful liar about your insults. You are a deceitful liar about your insults. I am clear and direct. That is the difference between you and me. I'm sorry, dirty skank-ho, I didn't hear you. Could you please repeat those last two lines?
Say Crimea River like a sarcastic hoe.
No, it's funny. You made it so defensive. You're so like up and antsy and angry and you know, you just...
Right. I'm acting just like a fat chick. I'm acting just like a fat chick hoarding her M&Ms. I'm acting like a defensive fat chick hoarding her M&Ms. When fat chicks have their candy taken away, they act defensively. It's hilarious. I agree. Napoleon. I would like to let an irrational young man, Napoleon, answer. I would like to let this, Napoleon, can you answer this walrus, please? Please answer the walrus. Walrus, can you hold on a second? I would like to let Napoleon, a irrational young man, speak.
You know, I'm seriously going to leave this soon because this is such a waste of my time.
No, don't leave. We're having such a great debate. Napoleon, would you answer this walrus, please?
It is an unintelligent debate. It is so irrational. It is the most
Napoleon, can you answer this, dirty skank-ho walrus, please?
Plum, what is the question you want me to answer?
I want to hear your thoughts on the debate, the great debate of 2012.
This girl is incredibly emotionally
Unstable? Retarded? Take your
emotionally
pick.
unstable, and that she cannot let any kind of rational thought guide what she's saying. Everything she's saying is some variation of you are being mean, you're being rude, you're being crass, you're arguing in a way that offends my question. Right?
So she's arguing about how I argue versus the actual substance of my argument.
Absolutely. In fact, I wanted to add one more comment. She was saying about how, oh God, men are always in charge, right? Her own country is led by a woman.
I agree. Oh, she just got owned. I would like to set booyah into the record.
Woman.
Oh, I would like to put booyah into the record. Can we hear from Paperclip, please? Paperclip, could you respond to any of these statements?
I'm not here to talk. I'm just here to enjoy the debate.
Thank you for your comments. Can we hear from you, Pinata? Would you like to comment on any of this debate?
The only thing that I have to say is that this girl's fucking delusional, and I'm enjoying this debate. Thank you.
Thank you for your colorful commentary with your ad M&Ms. Z-Dog,
It's funny because
would you
if
please...
enter a debate with like...
We're hearing the audience.
What happened to you?
Could the moderator direct the walrus to please quiet down? Could the moderator direct the walrus to please quiet down? Walrus, please return to your cage. We're going to have some other audience members comment. They're going to comment objectively as possible on the date. Please comment objectively, and please avoid eating her M&Ms. Thank you, Z-Dog.
I want to hear from Zenik. Do you have any comments on the matter? If you're able to speak with your microphone.
Can you guys hear me?
Could you mute your mic? I mean, not mute your mic, but could you turn off your video so we can hear you clearly? Your audio? Thank you.
Okay, test. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, what the fuck's wrong with this thing? Okay, objective comments. I actually don't think I have one.
Well, you don't have any...
I think... What?
Do you have any reaction to the debate at all?
I had quite a few other than laughing pretty continuously at the stupidity. But I mean, in general, all I have to say is that if women could compete with men at anything, they would have done it naturally a long, long time ago. The fact that society has been dominated by men for so many years is just a testament to our natural ability.
Physicality.
And that's it.
Yeah, she just says physicality as she invents another rolling pin and another ABC block. Okay, Reed, could you please comment?
Fallacy. Another fallacy. Fuck's sake, you're just...
Yes, a fallacy, right. I guess you don't want to take credit. So you don't want to take credit for the rolling pin and the ABC blocks? Are you undermining the great creativity of women in the ABC block industry? Are you
ABC blocks were actually invented by women. It's a proven fact.
Fucking hell.
I'm sorry, she's disparaging the memory of rolling pin inventors everywhere. Okay, Reed, would you like to comment on this debate, please?
She's rude as hell. So I'm still thinking in her views, like, you don't let me speak, you're just lying to me, you're not making a quote-unquote rational argument, and you're not letting me debate. Like, she's so childish in ways.
So would you say she was a childish walrus?
And a whore is not debating maturity.
Would you call her a childish walrus, or would you call her a subhuman walrus? Which would you prefer?
I just think it's bizarre that even education came from male minds. The concept of education came from the mind of men.
Funny that the majority of teachers are female now.
Yeah, and look at the educational system today. Oh, that's not something you want to reference. You want to keep that quiet during the debate.
Yes.
Yeah, the majority of female teachers, or the majority of teachers today are females. Yes, that's definitely evidenced by the quality of education today.
No, I'm just saying, education came from the minds of men, and now you're up in arms about how women weren't educated. If you were so intelligent, you would have been self-educated. You would have been able to educate yourself.
That's a brilliant argument. That's a brilliant male argument.
Don't you think that's bizarre and ironic?
I would like to enter brilliant into the record. Brilliant argument, sir. Your rebuttal, Walrus. Please, can I have your rebuttal?
A lot of high-class women did educate themselves when they had the resources to do so.
The resources. So you.
Their education couldn't be implemented because they didn't have access to jobs or careers.
Okay, can I ask you something?
The education that they gained was useless.
And where did the resources for men come from? Where did the resources for men come from?
Interesting.
When you're talking about the resources for men come from.
Well, you're saying that your argument is that women did not have resources, so what resources did men have?
Oh, the things that they built? You mean like all the buildings and cities they built? The bridges, the sewer systems, the canals, all the engineering they invented? You mean all the male inventions of society that this ungrateful walrus depends upon?
You know what?
What? Chicken butt?
In America, this this attitude is quite prevalent, and it's really sad.
Well, no, I think it's really sad that you haven't even answered my question.
Yeah, I think that's even worse. Walrus, do you have a rebuttal?
We don't know where the resources came from.
Oh, they missed them magically.
Oh, wait.
Are you sure Darwin didn't magically evolve them?
Yeah.
Did Darwin magically evolve them? Maybe you should read The Origin of Species.
Was it Darwin's theory of evolution that...
Darwin's theory of resources.
Man can use them?
You invented the first book.
Darwin's theory of evolving resources. That's what she's
No,
referencing.
seriously, tell me, where did the resources come from? Who can we say?
Oh, who built everything? Who built the sewer systems? Who built the houses? Who built the water? Who built the drainage systems?
Okay, and let's say, for example, women wrote the first book. Why couldn't women build upon these resources? Where do these resources come from? You're saying women didn't have resources. Where do men get their resources?
Oh, they just invented.
What do you mean? To dominate something, you have to discover it first. Men would have to be the first ones to write books. So why is it that the men were the first one to do it and not women? If women are just as smart as men.
If women were the ones who invented books first, what's to say that men wouldn't still be... What's to say that men wouldn't be dominating them physically anyway? What's to say that because if women did, hypothetically, invent the
I have a
first
question.
Hypothetically.
No, it seems that male physicality is very demonized. You do realize that men build your house. Your freeways that you see that you're able to drive in your car.
That house is demonic. I entered on the record that house is demonic.
And you know who they build that for? They build that for you.
That freeway's demonic, Blue. That's built by male prowess.
If you got a group of women and got them to build a house, they could do it as well. In their
Why not? You know what? Women could work in construction if they wanted
Yeah,
to.
why aren't they working in construction? Why aren't they working in coal mines? Women are so much for equality. You know, if women volunteered right now to work for a coal mine, you think those coal miners would go, oh no, we can't have a woman there. They'd be like, yeah, no problem. You want to do my job for me? This back-breaking fucking job where I get black coal lung? Sure, go ahead, do it for me.
That's why Navy SEALs are women too, right? That's why Navy SEAls are women?
Yeah, all the Navy SEAls are women. Sweet.
Stupid ass.
Franchise, do you have a comment for this walrus, please? Could you enter right now?
LRL, I mean, I challenge you to go out and switch your job to a factory where you can work and make freeways and all that. Challenge you to do that.
Prove us wrong. Go work construction.
Start saying that other girls can.
I'll tell you what. I'll guarantee you this. If you, Ariel, I'll make you a promise right now. Ariel, I'll make you a promise right now. If you work in construction for 1 year, I will shut down this academy. All you have to do is work in construction for 1 year, and I'll shut down the academy. Now you could have this hate mongering site. You could have this hate mongering site shut down right now. All you have to do is just work 1 year in construction to prove it's wrong. 1 year.
Okay, so why would it be that out of all the women who do work in construction...
All the women. I forgot the vast numbers. Those vast numbers. How many? How many vast numbers? Is it in the billions? Is it in the billions? Is it in the billions? Trillions? What is it? What is this vast number? How much? How many? 2? It would make a lot of difference, because there's a difference between like 2 women working in construction that look like Bull Dykes from Russia, that are double as Russian bodybuilders, versus you working in construction, versus a walrus like you working in construction. I'm just not seeing it.
Look it. And that doesn't even mean anything anyways. Ariel.
Google it, yeah. I like how you supposedly know the number, and yet you're telling us to Google it, which shows your argument is bullshit, and you're a liar, and you don't know the exact number. You're pulling this argument out of your ass, as always. Franchise,
I see feminists up in arms about not being allowed in the front line.
Yeah, they're not up, strangely.
Yes, they are, actually. A lot of women are up in arms.
You know what I hear about when I hear about feminists? I hear about them complaining about Middle Eastern ladies wear. I don't hear anything about them saying, we're not in the front line, or...
Yeah, that's equality. We should be drafted too.
I don't hear anything about that.
A lot. How many is that again? A billion women? Is it a billion or a trillion women?
Why are you just up in arms about men about not having the right to education?
You're missing the point, dude. It's like... You're missing the point. That if men and women are equal, then women should debate about being in the fucking front line.
They do.
Oh, they do. How many women is that? How many women is that? How many women is that? Is that 5, 6, 7, 10?
I want you to look up feminists who bitch about Middle Eastern ladies wear. Then I want you to look up how many women who complain about the front lines. Let me know the difference in numbers.
Oh, it's a lot. It's a lot. Okay, hold on. Can we let's hear from all the audience. Can we hear from Franchise, please? Franchise, can we hear your thoughts on the debate, please?
Well, it's just proven to me that American men are dumbasses.
Walrus, could you please be quiet while Franchise rebuts your debate, your comments? Go ahead, Franchise.
I can't say I've been listening to all of it. I've been kind of like waiting for everything to come out. She seems pretty cute and can, but when she opens her mouth, it's kind of quite the opposite.
So would you say that you were distracted by your boner while you were watching her debate?
No, I definitely have an inside-out boner after she started speaking. And
so would you say you initially, you saw her long hair, which wasn't, cut short like a Dutch boy paint haircut. Would you say that after seeing her regular long hair that you were turned on until you heard her...
Attitude? I hate that.
Until you heard her bitchy attitude and then you lost your boner? Would you say that it's...
It's funny, you can be a dick, but I can't be a bitch.
What is it? Would you say it's fair to say that she discriminated against your boner and she actively harassed your boner into flaccidity?
It was a hard, nice, long shaft, and now it's a flaccid, as soft as a fucking balloon.
Okay. Boggles, can we hear from the resident Indian? I don't know why I'm doing this, but I'm going to allow the Indian to respond. Usually he will undermine all our points and support the feminist points, but we're going to allow Boggles his time here because we want to be fair in this debate.
Anu's wondering if I do that.
We're going to... Also, let's let Anu respond too. Let Anu respond first.
Anu thought you were me.
Okay, hold on. Can everybody mute their mic except Boggles? Go ahead.
When the Australian chick said you were mean, Anu said mean too. So the chicks agree on the mean.
Okay, so they agree we're both mean, alright.
Do you have anything to say, Anu?
No, you go first.
Oh, you want me to go first? Like the man should go first.
Oh, sweet. Okay. Ladies first, go ahead.
What's this girl's name? Ariel. I mean, she's like a complete child. Like, she's like so hypocritical at every stage. You're giving her all these what was that?
Please.
Hey guys, this is funny. You guys, he's probably a bitch that you're being a dick. You guys, saying...
Please, Walrus, be quiet. Walrus, please be quiet while the Indian speaks. Walrus, please be quiet while the Indian speaks. Walrus, please be quiet while the Indian speaks. Madam Walrus, please be quiet while the Indian speaks. Let him say his piece. Walrus, please be quiet. Walrus, please be quiet while the Indian speaks.
Shut up, child. Alright. Like, you're giving her all this reasoning, she's completely ignoring it. You have given her so many different facts about male inventions, about how society was built by men. She completely ignores it. I mean, her mind is so emotional, she can't even see through it. It's like, I think she just hasn't had any discipline, like mental, where she can mentally reason. So, I think she just needs to be trained. She can't be reasoned with. She needs to be punished and rewarded when she makes sense.
Okay, and let's hear from Anu now, another girl who's listened to the debate. Let's hear a female's opinion of the debate.
Yeah, Anu, what's your opinion?
I don't know. I think just think there's a lot of name calling and stuff, which is like.
By the Walrus or by me?
By the Walrus?
Generally, I think both of you. I think it's natural for like one person to like.
Could Anu please speak up a little bit or move her closer to the mic, please?
Anu, yeah, speak up. Alright.
Move her closer to the mic.
Alright, say it.
Okay. No, I just think that it was less of a debate and more of like kind of back and forth, like battering about each other and like making fun of each other, etc. But you guys mentioned that like women and men have different functions. So where does debating come in that? Because it seems like you've already made up your mind about like how good or bad of a debater a woman can be before you even start this debate, and then you kind of topple with the entire thing. So when you talk about function and men and women, then
right, but we've already talked that we've stated that we've shown reason why women are shouldn't be allowed in debates like this. We've stated cause. We've shown where our arguments are hypocritical, where they don't support each other, where they contradict each other, where examples where men have been the greatest of inventors and they've created society and they bear all the responsibility while women bear none of that responsibility. So we've shown cause for why women are retarded and can't debate properly. So we're not just making these statements without reason or facts or evidence for our views.
okay. It's kind of a biased premise then. You're kind of entering this argument.
Right. History is biased. It is biased towards facts. I agree. Okay, what else?
That's it. I don't have anything else.
No, please. We want to hear your full female opinion on this. Please give us your full, unadulterated, sexy, wet female opinion on this. Everybody put away your lotion bottles and let her speak freely.
Oh, fuck.
I think there's good arguments on both sides.
Could you be more specific, please? Please be more specific. Which arguments were
So I
good?
think one of the main things that she brought up is that without access, you don't really have opportunity, which I think is critical.
Right.
That doesn't really necessarily go for men and women, but also like different forms of society as well. So without access and opportunity, it's tough. Because
Okay, right? You agree with her argument. What do you think about the counter arguments?
Yeah, you can take two stones and make fire.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of things which you do need some knowledge for, and for that you need an opportunity to learn, and for an opportunity to arise, you need to have access.
Right. Okay. So you agree with her point. Now, what do you think about the rebuttals to that argument? Because there are many rebuttals presented to that very argument about women having lack of resources, lack of education, being oppressed, etc. What do you think about the rebuttal arguments?
That given opportunity, men still seem to stand out in certain industries versus others.
Right. Well, in all industries, actually.
So I think the stuff about like the obvious biological reasons why men are stronger than women, I think.
And more intelligent.
I would definitely agree that when it comes to like the buff, the sort of whatever.
Right, but what about the argument that women didn't have access to education? What about all the rebuttal arguments? What do you think about those rebuttal arguments?
Sorry, what was your rebuttal arguments on that? I apologize,
Oh, so you only paid attention to the female arguments. You didn't listen to any of the vast amount of male counter arguments. Is that what you're telling me?
She only remembered the...
Please respond to the arguments. We don't have hours and hours to repeat those male arguments, so please...
I'm sorry, I can't respond. You can call me what you want. I'm done.
Thank you, Punjabi Chaiwala, for your commentary. We really appreciate
do you
it.
think I'm smarter
Then what?
than you?
Nope.
Yeah, there you go. Some things. I am smarter.
Some things. That speaks volumes about her feminist indoctrination. Let's see. Have we covered everybody? Is there anybody else we could... Oh, Chewy, we'd like to hear your thoughts on this debate. Is the walrus still there? Did we lose the walrus? Is she still there? Walrus, are you still there? Oh, we lost the walrus. Thank you, everybody, for participating in the great debate of 2012, Debate-A-Ho, where Manhood Academy's your professor, Professor Plum, was debating a dirty skank hoe, a deceitful, lying walrus, and basically buried her, I believe. I'm being a little impartial, a little biased towards my own views, but I want to hear from the students around the room now that the walrus has left. Hopefully she'll return and we can hear her closing arguments because we haven't officially finished the debate. But I'd like to hear from the students now. I'd just like to open it up to the forum. It's a safe male place here. Don't feel threatened. Don't feel like you will be discriminated against or lose your jobs or your incomes or she will report you to the authorities. Please feel free to voice your reactions to the debate. And I'd especially like to hear from Anu again, since I will be interrupting you this time. I'd like to hear your full opinion on this, on these issues. So please feel free to speak freely right now.
I'm good.
She's too shy now.
Are you wet after hearing the debate? Were you turned on by hearing a masculine male fully dominate and make another female submit and tap out?
I'm done.
She's done. When you mention sexual things she doesn't like.
So she was done sexually? You finished off during the debate? Or you're done talking about the subject? I'm not clear. I'm just wondering if you meant you were finished. You know, sometimes girls use euphemisms for, schlacking the chicken or buttering the omelet, but I was just curious if you were let me put it in a more euphemistic, politically correct term. Were you sexually aroused by seeing a male dominate another female a la 50 Shades of Grey?
I think she would find that quite disrespectful.
Okay, I would agree with that, but I just wanted to know if her ovaries were excited, or if her nipples got erect during the debate at any time, just as a purely scientific investigation.
I would assume probably not, because I would turn her on, so...
Okay.
I don't think she'd turn on.
Also, I would like to ask a sub-question, Anu. Has Mind Boggler, your friendly Indian guide, has he ever turned you on? You could just give me a yes or no answer, that'll be fine.
Anu? That's me.
Has he ever turned you on? You could just answer yes or no.
Alright, have I turned you on?
Yes or no?
Yes or no? Anu?
She's strangely silent.
Have I turned you on? Answer it.
You could just answer yes or no. You don't have to give us any details. I just want to know for the record if Boggler has turned you on, yes or no. That's all you have to give, a yes or no answer. So Boggles hasn't turned you on.
Oh my, what? Anu?
Oh.
Oh my god, you're shaming me in front of
This is an embarrassing, shocking revelation. This whole time, Mind Boggler has not been able to turn on Anu. That is a tragic relationship.
Come on, Anu, you're making me look really bad. Have I turned you on, yes or no?
Yeah, it sounds like this is headed for divorce. It sounds like a tragic misunderstanding. I'm ashamed to know Boggles, and we'll move on from here.
Yeah, it looks like she's not into me.
Yeah, she's not into you. Chewy, what are your thoughts on this, missing this debate? How do you feel missing the greatest debate of all time in Manhood Academy history, where we debated we debated a walrus into the ground.
Well, I'm sad to hear that I missed it, but last night you posted a video of a feminist argument with another walrus, so I feel like it probably went similar.
Let me tell you something. That silly academic debate was nowhere near approached the level of greatness of the Manhood Academy Great Debate of 2012. Would you agree, Rybred?
I didn't see the one you guys are talking about, but this one was pretty awesome.
Thank you,
Rybred,
for
that,
confirming
and
that.
I agree, Professor.
Thank you for confirming that, Rybred. Can we get any thoughts from Paperclip?
The debate was freaking awesome because I got to see someone who knows how to debate or how to properly debate and give out great arguments. Argue with someone who is who's okay with like the opposite argument, but then she can't give any good points. And even her arguments, first of all, they were terrible, and then she would try changing the subject, or she would try, taking the focus away from her and onto you. And then I'm like, damn, I got to watch some pretty good expectation management. And then I was shocked that she stayed for so long after he was calling her names the whole time. I thought that she would get pissed off right away and then leave.
Well, as you know, as we teach in the ebook, women are turned on by men asserting their authority, which is a natural function. So, to some extent, yes, she is interested in getting her point across, but also, women just naturally have a good response instinctually to male authority. Of course, there's a feminist indoctrination and, getting butthurt and getting humiliated, which doesn't help her stay here, but the fact that she stayed so long I think is a testament to my balls and also my bitch management, my intensive bitch management training, and bespeaks my qualifications for being one of the instructors at this fine, glorious academy. Young Napoleon?
My thoughts about debates, right?
Yes.
So, I found a very peculiar mixture. First of all, I was pretty outraged at the mockery.
Were you sexually excited at any point, for instance, when she first came
to
to the
chat? No, I was completely turned off by the entire thing.
Okay.
So I was kind of outraged at her abuse of logic. Her arguments are so childish and badly constructed. I actually felt offended. As a mildly logical, mildly intelligent young man, I felt shocked at her just utter mockery.
So you were shamed and offended by her offensively disgusting use of reason, or attempt to use reason.
I wasn't used, and actually very excited by how badly you thrashed her and smashed her arguments. So there was a bit of enjoyment too. I liked seeing you just completely pummel her into submission. Right? That made it worth it. That's why I kept staying here.
Would you say it was like watching a Brassers.com porn film, like Blacks on Blondes?
This is the debate equivalent of BDSM. So I felt a little twinge.
Okay.
And most of all, I felt confusion because I was actually listening to the girl and trying to follow her reasoning.
Right.
And it made it was like a funhouse mirror of logic. Right? I think, what the hell is she saying? How does it even make sense? How does that statement follow that statement? What? So, confusion, outrage, and a little bit of joy.
A little bit of joy. Z-Dog, our resident intellectual nerd, what were your feelings on this debate? What are your thoughts on this debate? What did you come away with? What were you disturbed by? What were you enlightened by? What were you encouraged by? What were you inspired by? What turned you on? What turned you off? Let's hear your thoughts, Z-Dog. Z-Dog, please wake the fuck up. We want to hear your thoughts on the debate.
Sorry, my brother's in the room is distracting me.
We want to hear what you're inspired by, what you're turned on by, turned off by, what your thoughts, what your feelings. We want to hear everything.
I wasn't turned on by anything at all. Holy fuck. That was so terrible. But the debate itself, it seemed like after the first 10 minutes, it was like, there's no point even... It seemed like at the start of this, we were actually going to try to... we have some echo.
Oh. Sorry, could everybody mute their mics except Z-Dog, please? Thank you.
Test. Alright, there we go. Okay. So it seemed like after the first 10 minutes, there was no point in really having the debate anymore. It was like, we went into this and we're like, okay, we're going to see if we can resolve something. Then after 10 minutes, it was beyond stupidly obvious that this chick was too stupid to grasp anything we had to tell her. And it was kind of just like, we got to listen to you berate her for about 30 minutes, which was absolutely fucking hilarious. And then that was about it. That's really my whole reaction. There were a bunch of times where I wanted to jump in, but I knew I didn't want to interrupt, so I just laughed at myself and kept myself muted.
I wish you had interrupted. I'm actually very sad that you didn't.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't really want to. I
know
didn't
you
want
don't like to do anything. That's why I like to force you.
I didn't want to have to make Blue say, "Oh, shut the fuck up, Z-Dog." I didn't want to have to derail anything. But I mean, at the end, it was getting pretty chaotic anyway. Like she was spending the whole time trying to talk and say ad hominem attacks something. Ad hominem shit. Ad Eminem. Yeah.
There was a lot of Eminem abuse going on.
Yeah, it was pretty silly.
Right. Reed, can we get your thoughts, your feelings, your distaste or growing admiration for the Academy, whether you were inspired, crushed? We'd just like to hear from you.
I feel more inspired, honestly, just seeing you hand over this annoying bitch. The way she argued and the way she was talking was so annoying. Like, like everyone else has said, it's a complete turn off. Like not something I would see as attractive in a woman. It was nice to see you like call her out on her bullshit. The fact that you said she came into the chat room lying, and then she tried to play it off as it never happened.
Yeah, we have those chat transcripts where she pretends like she has no argument and no debate when she posted a scathing, vitriolic argument that we posted in the visitor center. So I'm not sure if we'll post the debate. I think we'll probably post a debate there to rebut her ridiculous accusations and her ridiculous.
I just like that you called her out on all her bullshit as opposed to like letting it slide. Like that was the point I would have thought of. You know what? She lied, but it's not important. Maybe you just shrug it off. But it was pretty entertaining seeing all their stupid points crushed. I was laughing through most of it, and it was enjoyable. It was nice to see this, hear this. I just liked it a lot. It was pretty entertaining.
Moderator Blue, how was your experience moderating the debate? What were your feelings, thoughts? Were you torn in any specific direction? Did you feel like you were being impartial? Did you feel like you were moderating appropriately, or that was befitting of somebody respectable in terms of refereeing an impartial debate?
I don't think I did a great job as moderator. It was my first, stab at it. I was not impartial. I was, I would say I was emotional, because every word that came out of her mouth was excruciating. And I wish I had the enjoyment that the other guys here had, but I didn't feel that way. It was excruciating.
It was torture.
And the whole time, I just thought how bizarre it was that her argument essentially was women need to be uplifted by other men so that women could have the chance to succeed and be on an even keel with men, which is totally fucking insane. So, I don't know. I was like sweating. I was like getting pissed off.
So that the debate made you physically ill. You had a violent reaction towards the debate.
Yes.
Okay. Interesting. Boggles, what are your feelings about Anu rejecting you live in front of all the bros? Did that depress you? Did that crush your spirits? Also, what were your the fact that she's not turned on by you? She's disgusted by your Indian intellect and your entire person. How are your feelings about Anu? Have they changed? Have you fallen out of love with her? Do you no longer want to talk about give glowing reviews about her like you do to the bros all the time? I was very shocked and disappointed. Or and also, what were your feelings on the debate? And then we'll get to you in a second. So let's hear from Boggles initially. Go ahead, Boggles.
Well, looks like I got some work to do. I mean, the fact that she can't openly admit that she's not turned on by me, that's a problem.
Yeah, I thought it was not only shamefully embarrassing, but also embarrassingly shameful. So, yes, I agree with you.
I figured she would probably admit that, yes, my man Nick, turns me on, but she wants to be turned on in private, but she won't.
Seems like she's embarrassed by the Punjabi meat. Is this speaking about your size? Maybe you're not satisfying her. Maybe you're too small or too a violent lover, an inappropriate lover. You don't pay attention to her needs. I mean, what could it be? Can you speculate?
Maybe I don't pay enough attention to her needs, and I need to fix that or perhaps work on that.
Okay, fair enough.
Where she has a more satisfactory response.
Right.
But yeah, man, it looks like I definitely got some work to do. But in regards to the debate, I mean, I just thought like it was getting pointless. Like you're like arguing, giving this girl all these well thought out points, and it's like you're not even relating to this retard. It's like it makes sense to me what you're saying, but that chick doesn't get anything you're saying.
Yeah, I felt I was debating a school, not even a schoolgirl, like a zoo animal. So
yeah, well thought out points, and it's like it doesn't mean anything to her. And it's kind of painful.
Yeah, it was painful to go into depth and become passionate about these points and try to construct them and struggle for the words and the examples, and then she completely ignores them, doesn't even bother to rebut them. Either misdirects the argument, ignores the argument, or just goes on a different tangent and doesn't address any of the fallacies. When that's exactly what I did. All her arguments, I attempted to undermine them by addressing the fallacies within her arguments, specifically, not just speaking in general about a point, but specifically addressing a point. Whereas I don't feel she did me the same courtesy. She was talking about respect. I think she treated me very disrespectfully in the debate by ignoring all the points I made.
So that's why I see why writing something and debating someone in writing is way better than verbally, because it's more chaotic when you're verbally.
Yeah, I thought it was atrociously disrespectful to say that. Yes, I didn't lie to you when we have a chat room record of her just lying about wanting to debate or even having a debate.
Yeah, here's the frustrating part. Like, she's not even going to realize that she lied, or she is so delusional.
Yeah, it was like a waste of time. You know what? I already realized this debate was a waste of time. That's why I wasn't as frustrated. I was having more fun during the debate. But even I realized debating a woman was pointless. It was like debating a wall. She's not going to learn anything from this. If anything, this is for other men to educate them on how delusional women are when they're trying to make a point, especially a point that many men have rebutted 1,000 times over.
It's not her. It's not a woman's place. It's not her place to argue competently anyway. She's not going to get anything. Her points are not going to make sense. It's like a child throwing a tantrum. She just needs to be told. She just needs to be told what to do. And
Yeah, exactly. That's why, they excuse women during debates. It wasn't a matter of, we're going to be unfair to you or we hate you. It's just that men had only so much tolerance for painful retardation. And they couldn't tolerate that where they're trying to discuss something logically and rationally. They can't have some dumb bitch come in there and say, well, what about the way you're arguing? Or just some other nonsensical peripheral point that has nothing to do with the substance of the debate, the actual issues at hand.
So pretty much, I'm more upset at the manginas around her. They need to be slapped for for her state the way she is. Like the guys in Australia are such big.
And what really frustrated me was came up with some brilliant points about education, about how men.
I was shocked by your brilliant arguments, Blue. I called one of the arguments brilliant, and I entered that phrase into the record. And DBP, I also want to comment, there were some brilliant arguments made. Go ahead, please continue.
Thank you. But she kept on, she's so stupid. She said, where is your evidence? As if you're going to pull out some documents out of your ass.
Yeah, didn't we just say we're debating by reason alone?
I could just say, where's your evidence?
Exactly, she was making all these assertions without any quote-unquote evidence. I mean, she was making absurd rebuttals. Sorry, who else would I'm sorry, Anu, what are your feelings now about Boggles now that you've officially dismissed him in front of all the Academy? Have your feelings changed about him? Do you feel like your relationship is over, or do you feel frustrated in your relationship with Indians, or have you attached yourself? Have you maybe grown some admiration for other members of this Academy after this debate? Maybe your affections have changed alliances. Maybe you've aligned with maybe an instructor or some other Academy student versus the Indian you're currently seeing, at least formally. No.
I'm surprised because I thought you were really traditional. I don't talk about stuff outside.
Okay.
Well, he doesn't know that.
I don't know that. I'm unaware of that. So, as a traditional Indian, will you be making love through a hole in the sheet, or will you actually be touching each other in your nakedness when you finally do?
That's still non-traditional question for her.
So, I have just one more scientific question about Indian lovemaking. Is doggy style allowed in the Indian tradition, or is that too outrageous? Is that too secular? Is that against the Indian philosophy?
Well, I think Indians invented doggy style because I read it once in the Kama Sutra.
Oh, that's correct. I heard that assertion too.
In fact, all the traditional Indians invented all the major positions that we know of today.
Now, was this women inventing these moves or men inventing these moves?
In India, we don't talk about sex. You just bang. We don't talk.
You just bang and don't talk. Okay.
We just bang and produce a billion people, and we don't talk about it.
Right. It's interesting that Indians don't talk about banging, yet they produce so many offspring, year after year, and topple the population charts.
Yeah, we just action speaks louder than words. We bang, but don't talk.
So would you say that your banging, Anu, is going to make a lot of sound against your walls? Like those actions will make a lot of noise and speak louder than my words?
Yeah, perhaps, yes.
Okay. One last question. Is Anu a moaner or a screamer? Or just is she silent like a log, like Indian tradition dictates?
Yeah, I think Anu gets too embarrassed by these questions.
Yes,
but,
okay. We will stop the questioning.
It's exciting when me and Anu get it on.
Right.
She's not here in person, so.
DVP, any closing thoughts on this debate that you want to share with us? Anything you've learned, anything you've been inspired by, disgusted by, anything that struck you as novel or something you haven't come across before? Let's hear your thoughts on this debate.
This was a very hard debate to sit through. Not only because what she was saying was so retarded, but because I had to exercise a lot of restraint to not jump in, and because
and to not beat her with your kendo stick, or to just not call her a dirty, disgusting fat hoe?
No, I had for every single sentence she was saying, I had a counter argument for it. Every single one, I felt like, and I didn't want to interject.
I was torn because I know you love to debate dirty skank hoes into the ground, but you've never actually had this type of opportunity in this environment to do so, and I was actually more intrigued and interested in you doing this than me, but for the sake of the newness of the debate, I took it upon myself to do it, but I was actually more interested in seeing you perform and you debate her, so I was somewhat disappointed. It was a bittersweet victory.
Yes, so I 100%. That's how I feel too. It was like, I got my little 30 seconds of fame when I said that fashion. But
that was another brilliant argument, and you know what? Every time you bring up an argument, I always rub my chin in stumped admiration, and I think, what a brilliant dark-skinned man DVP is. So subtle, so rough around the edges and hangouts, but yet so profound in his common sense wisdom, almost like a Benjamin Franklin of minorities.
Oh my goodness, she said something that really just got under my skin with the rebuttal for DDP. She said, and he mentioned, fashion, about how men have even excelled in fashion.
Yes.
How the best designers are men. And you know what her argument was?
What was that?
Oh, those men are effeminate.
That's not true. Giorgio Armani they're all straight men. They're all
That was her argument.
That's what I don't get. Even if that was true, if femininity is the thing that makes you succeed in fashion, women are more feminine than men.
Oh, just contradicted her own argument.
Good fucking point, DDP. And I don't think she even that point.
I said that she ignores it.
Landmine.
Yeah, she can't understand it. Like she doesn't understand it.
Can I put Booyah in the record?
I thought you had already entered Booyah in the record after one of my arguments.
I didn't put Booyah right now.
I'll admit, I was full of a disgusting pride, and I felt, as I was stating the argument, it was a marvelous argument, so that's why I entered Booyah into the record, and I don't know if it was appropriate or not, but I felt that, I wanted to take full responsibility for that argument, whether it was jeered or cheered. I wanted to take responsibility for that argument, so that's why I entered it anyway.
It's noted and it's in the archives forever now.
Okay, franchise, last word goes to you, Whit. Any thoughts on this debate? Any feelings about this? Any closing remarks you want to say to the Academy, the students, the world, the universe, aliens, Jesus, God, the Holy Spirit,
my name is Jesus.
Whoever you want to thank.
For being plumbed down to this earth to regulate bitches. Because I think that was a fucking awesome way of demonstrating how to maintain a bitch live, in person.
Please, you go too far. You flatter me too much.
They'll do some magic in your face, and you're like, wow, I can't believe this is happening right in front of me. So thank you, God. Thank you, Jesus, for bringing that blow.
Thank you, baby Jesus, thank you, baby Jesus, for franchise's arguments for it.
I still want to add something.
Oh, Pinata, I'm sorry, I missed you. Go ahead. Please contribute. Please contribute.
Since I'm the last, I feel like I have to be like, I'll save the best for last, so I hope that...
Yeah, I'm glad that we saved the best for last. I want to hear from you.
Well, regardless, I just want to add that I feel like looking at this debate or hearing this debate, it leads me to know that it doesn't matter what you say to women. They don't fucking understand. Countless reasonable, common sense, arguments that are full of common sense, and they won't get it. They'll take the stupidest string from that argument and twist it around, and we'll turn it into some stupid-ass sentence. That's exactly what happened with this debate. I think that...
I believe Anu is amused by your speaking the truth, or she's laughing at your penis size. I'm not sure. Anu, what?
She said it's kind of true.
She said it's kind of true. Oh. Anu agrees with you. Wow, I'm shocked.
What did she tell you? You're mean. Dude, that had nothing to do. Like, she would not understand the point that you were saying. Like, countless of times as I was here just sitting.
Please speak up.
Countless of times I was here just sitting, and at the same time I was playing video games. And I was able to
You were playing video games during the great debate of 2012?
And I was still able to pay attention to the stupid shit that she was saying.
Oh,
that's
God.
how great this debate was. And that's how much attention I put into this debate. It's so ridiculous. It pains me inside to see that feminism is a disease that has spread in the minds of women.
So would you suggest total eradication of the female race, or do you think that's a too extreme of a solution? Do you think that a Nazi final solution is the ultimate solution, or do you believe that's going too far?
Look, women are needed as much as men.
I agree with you. I think you're going too far when you suggest that we should kill all women. I think that's wrong.
No, I never said, I said feminism. Feminism is a disease.
I know, but I was trying to throw you off by suggesting that you might, or by, twisting your argument to say that you would want to eliminate all women.
No, not women. Feminism itself.
Okay.
Things up. Like, obviously, like, we had this point. This girl lied. She was so brazen about it. She was so shameless about the way she lied. She didn't give a fuck. She focused on the way that you had the argument and how you were so mean. Regardless of
I think you repeated that important point a couple times now. Would you like to close? Would you like to close now?
Anu says that,
Hold on, let
Anu says that girls don't do it on purpose.
Bagos, let Pinata finish.
No, let Bagos go, because then I'll say the closing statement.
Yeah, Anu, go ahead, Anu. We'll let Anu speak. Go ahead.
Anu, what did you say? Yeah, go on.
About what?
About girls, like changing arguments, girls doing things like that, but they don't do it on purpose.
I think just like I think we just pay attention to the details.
Could you please put her close to the microphone, Bagos? I can't hear her.
Okay.
I don't know, I just think that girls pay more attention, because it's kind of scary. Okay. I just think that girls pay attention to more details, and guys kind of, look at the big picture. So, it's not that we do it on purpose to kind of say it.
I believe that Cosmo advice column snippet that you just parroted is irrelevant to this. It's implying that girls are more detail oriented than men, and men can only see like the forest. They can't see each individual tree.
Never mind, just forget it.
No, I want to hear what your opinion is on this details argument. But it just sounds It just sounds like a parroted argument I've heard before, where women are, detail oriented, and I agree with that. I agree with that sentiment in a certain sense, but not in the sense that it's intended when it's commonly employed. So I just want to hear your thoughts on that. When they say women are detail oriented, what do you mean? Can you elaborate on that?
Well, to your argument about the fact that sometimes we kind of look past the logic and look into the details, that can happen. So that's what
Yeah, details. So you're basically sidetracked by little snippets of the argument. So, for instance, if I said, "Well, women work fewer hours than men in the job market," you're saying, "Oh, what kind of market was it? Was it a red-colored market? Is it pretty? Was it decorated?" So you're distracted by the details versus the actual substance of the argument or the logic behind the argument.
Exactly. So when you put in a name calling in the middle of that sentence, immediate attention will go to the name saying, "You're so mean." When you're talking about something completely different, but what ends up happening is instead of the content, you focus on the way that it's...
The way that the content is presented.
Yeah, so in the middle, if you put in your me, if you say something, you insult a woman in the middle, immediately the attention goes to that instead of like what you were talking about.
I agree with you. But the difference is when men argue, they're able to look past those insulting remarks, the sarcasm. Like I had to put up with a lot of sarcasm from her initially, even when I first met her. But
that's just how guys talk. Like, I mean, that's like...
No, but even we can put aside, because we understand we're insulting each other. Like, when I'm insulting her and I'm calling her a fat cunt or I'm calling her a walrus, I'm obviously blatantly saying that. I'm not trying to hide it. I'm not trying to hide my disdain for her lack of intellectual prowess, but she's implying like she's mature and everybody else is immature, and she's the only one debating without using ad hominems, when her sarcasm alone is an attack. Her, the way she presents the arguments, the condescension. Women like to fool themselves, and even male feminists like to fool themselves into thinking they aren't being insulting when they're not directly using an insulting word. For instance, you'll hear people say, "Oh, you must have a poor education," or "You must not be very well educated," or "You must not have graduated high school," which is the same as calling somebody an idiot. But because they didn't directly say you're an idiot, they feel they're not responsible for making that the spirit for intending that insult or for presenting that insult. So you could see the deceitful nature of her arguments when she's saying things like that. I just think that speaks volumes, and that's a difference in the way men can kind of put aside the insults, or they can even insult during their arguments, but yet they can still present the argument and still address the argument.
Plum, she says that she had a softer landing. Her insults have a softer landing.
Like, as in, I just think in general, because, I mean, I'm actually really surprised that she was even able to take all of the words, because, so, at the same time, it's harder for women to take those words. Like, we don't want, when we're trying to tell someone else the same thing, we kind of don't want
Right, and I would agree that speaks to their function. Women have a valuable emotional function, a nurturing function, but...
I'm really surprised that I'm actually really surprised. I would have, left that chat.
Right, I think you would have cried during the middle. So I would say she isn't even... Right, and taking a rape shower. But I would say you are more indicative or more representative of the average woman and her debating abilities versus her. I would say she is not indicative of the typical woman, other than the fact that she can't reason, but she is more willing to engage in this type of intellectual debate where most women will, like you said, focus on the emotional aspect of the debate and how you make them feel during the debate versus the substance behind your debate.
Yeah, well, if you can keep it objective, which some debates are, that's a value judgment, I think this one was definitely a value debate, and it's hard to keep emotions out of it.
Would you say you're able to keep things hard? No, I'm just inquiring if you have that ability to, during a debate, to keep things hard.
It depends. It's probably not very common for me to keep it totally objective.
Totally objective?
I mean, it's hard to keep it totally objective.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, she's not objective with me. I'm the more objective guy with her, so.
Well, I must say she has beautiful hair. It's a shame that you guys are going to be breaking up pretty soon. But
she does have. I just noticed today. I was like, wow, her hair is getting.
Yeah, she's got a ravishingly long hair. That's something you could pull while you're practicing the conversation.
I was going to comment on that. I think I mentioned about her hair briefly, but yeah, thanks for bringing.
Yeah, it's very beautiful. You're a lucky man to have her for at least another week before you guys break up. Thank you guys for joining us for this stunning debate. It's been an enjoyable time. Thank you all. We'll see you next.
Come on, man. Comeback. I've been here for years. I'm rocking my peers, put suckers in fear, making the tears rain down like a monsoon. Listen to the bass go boom, exploding, overpowering over the competition.